Ooh, a setting change. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, in today's video, I was sort of just wanting to give like a breakdown of what Dungeons & Dragons is as a game and sort of just what it's all about. Dungeons & Dragons is a tabletop fantasy role-playing game, which means that you sit at a table with some paper and a pencil and you sit with these other players and you tell a story together, essentially. It was originally designed by Gary Gygax and Dave Averson, I think I'm saying that right, and about 1974 is when it was published. And they continued to publish material up for it up until about 1997 when Wizards of the Coast took over. Wizards of the Coast is this gaming company that also runs games like Magic the Gathering. They release material for that as well. I'm just going to put their website over here for Alright guys, here's that website. You can find them at company.wizards.com to see more of what they're about. In Dungeons & Dragons, there are essentially two types of participants that are going to be playing with you at a table. Every Dungeons & Dragons game has something called a Dungeon Master, or a DM for short. Everyone just calls it a DM. And what the Dungeon Master does is they create a setting, they create plot hooks, they create characters, and they run the combat encounters, essentially. They're creating this world and dropping you off in it and letting you run amok and do what you want. They're also the referee for the game. If there's any sort of rules disputes, you refer to the Dungeon Master and they have the final say. Whatever they say, go. It's just like a sort of easier way to keep the game moving along, to make sure that players aren't fighting over a rule. Because there are a lot of rules in Dungeons & Dragons, and some of them aren't very clear, and sometimes there's certain rules that like every table has their own, every party has their own way of doing them, and the Dungeon Master has the final say in what way your group is going to interpret a certain rule, and they do have the final say in it, and whatever they say is just how the game is going to be. But you, as a player, what your job is you create a hero to go on this adventure and tell a story with your other party members. And I want to clarify something. This hero doesn't necessarily have to be like your stereotypical knight in shining armor running into battle with a sword drawn, fighting for the glory of the kingdom. Like, for instance, I have this one character who's just a halfling mother. She fights with a rolling pin and a cutting board because it was the closest thing to her when she found out that her kids went missing. And that was her whole hook for going out and joining this party, because she's trying to find her children. Your character can be anything that you think of. Like, I have another friend who plays this old grandmother who literally walks with a cane, and because of that she can't move as fast as the rest of us, so sometimes we have to carry her through things. As long as your character has a reason that they're out adventuring, you can go crazy with it and do whatever you want, as long as your DM says so. Alright, so there's essentially two types of Dungeons & Dragons games. There are one-shots and there are campaigns. We're going to start talking about the campaigns. So what campaigns they are long games spreading over months to even years. My first campaign ever, I'm still a part of, and I started playing this game about a year and a couple months ago, and I still play with them. And typically campaigns start out with you at level 1 and you level up throughout the story slowly and progress up to level 20. That's essentially what you're trying to get to. Because Dungeons & Dragons isn't necessarily like a play to win type of game. You're playing to tell a story with the other participants at the table. It's not a game that's gonna be focused on you. It's focused on the group as a whole. And you have to learn how to depend on the other people in your parties, because you're not going to be able to do everything. And there's certain situations that you're going to feel useless in, and you're going to have to defer to someone else in your party, and there's certain situations that you're going to be able to just be in the spotlight, and you're going to be the star of that certain situation. But you as a group are going to be working together to get through this adventure and tell this story together and just save the kingdom, essentially. Speaking of leveling in Dungeons & Dragons isn't necessarily a fast process. Like the game that I've been playing in for a year, they play weekly. And I started at level 4, I think. I was at level 3, actually, when I joined the game, because they've been playing for a little while. And after a year of playing, we're still only at level 9. It's not a quick process, because what Dungeons & Dragons is, as its core, is telling a story. It's not trying to become the most powerful, the quickest. It's not trying to take over the world. It's working together with your friends to have a good time and create memories and get to know them better and yourself better through playing other people. Now for one-shots. One-shots are a little bit different. So what a one-shot is, it can be anything from like 1 to just 3 sessions even, but it's just to have fun, to sit down, have a quick little game, not really have to like plan too far ahead. And what I like to use one-shots for are to explore different classes and higher level abilities, to see sort of what playstyle that I like to enjoy. Like, when I first got into Dungeons & Dragons, I was really drawn towards the magical side of it, because I was like, hey, it's Dungeons & Dragons, why would I want to play someone who can't have magic when I could have magic? You know what I mean? Like, but through, like, my first character ever was a wizard, and I still love him to pieces, but playing a wizard as your first character is asking for a lot, which I'll explain when I make the video on the wizards. But there's just a lot to keep up with that. But through playing one-shots, I've learned that I really enjoy playing like fighters and barbarians. I love just wading into battle and just hitting stuff really hard. And I wouldn't have realized that if it wasn't for one-shots, because with campaigns, you make these characters and you typically play these characters every game for long periods of time. So you get really used to that certain character, but it also doesn't allow you to explore other classes when you've signed up to play this one character for a year or 2 years or 3 years. And I mean, if you get tired of a character, you can just talk to your DM about it and see about, is there any way that I can retire this character? And you can work together to sort of incorporate that into the story about, like, maybe this character just got tired and he wanted to just go home. And you can do that, but one-shots are just a really good way to sort of explore different classes and different abilities and different play styles and figure out which ones actually do suit you. I would recommend, as a first-time player, trying to find like just a one-shot. Maybe even getting together with friends and just having like a one-shot just to see how you all like it. It's a really good way to dip your toes in the water without committing too much. Alright guys, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and feel free to like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting a new video sometime soon. It won't be more than a week. I'm going to try to start posting weekly, but for these first few videos I might be posting a little bit more often just because I'm, you know, excited to get into the YouTube gig. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.